What's up, everyone? It's your boy, The Business, coming back at you live for episode 13 of The Business. Let's be real. Tonight's special guest is Farris Montgomery, and I'm super excited to have him on tonight. I've known Farris for almost 30 years, man. We and this guy go way back, and we got a lot of, funny stories from how I met Farris and stuff like that, and just really, know him for a long time and have been able to watch the progression of Farris as well and what he's been able to do both in the hospitality industry and also being an entrepreneur, and moving up with his business, Lock It Up Tennis, and what he's been able to do both with that industry and with the fitness industry. And he's just, very inspirational person to talk to. And I'm super excited to have him on tonight. And, with that being said, The Business, let's be real. Episode 13 begins now. Welcome back, everyone, to The Business. Let's be real. Tonight's special guest, like I said, Farris Montgomery. Farris, how you doing tonight, man?
Yo, what's going on, Tone? I'm doing good, bro. Good to see you.
Good to see you too, man. Totally appreciate you being able to come on, man. I was super excited when, you and I have been contacting each other back and forth for quite a while now, trying to work this out, and now it's coming to fruition for us. So I'm excited that you're here, dude, and excited that we were able to make it happen, man.
Man, this is I was just saying the other day, I was like, man, I hope he doesn't say, man, remember that one time in high school? And I'm gonna be like, yo, bro, I don't remember. Yes, I do not remember. You played football and I was in band. So I mean, there's only so much. We're gonna be different angles.
Yeah, no, for sure. And we did. And but you and I always had a respect for each other. Like I said, we've known each other for a while, and we never had. I can't say ever any kind of indifferences with each other and anything like that.
Bro, from South Low, there's no way you can have an indifference from South Low. Let's be on the east side one night, and we lonely. We don't know who's around us. You can turn around and see like, yo, he's from South Lorraine. And we know we good. So that's how we've had our backs, each other's backs like that from a distance for so long. So I'm glad that we finally got this opportunity to talk and get down to business, bro.
Yeah, for sure. Like I said, super happy that you're here. Appreciate that you were able to come on. I know you're always busy, man. I'm like I said, I've been watching the story of you just evolving always. You know what I'm saying? You're working hard, you're pushing. We always talk about the guys that are on here and the entrepreneurs that are coming on and just from the different industries and just how they're pushing is what we call it. You know what I mean? Yeah. We're not going to call it a hustle because I'm not out here trying to hustle nobody, and the people that I'm having on the show aren't doing that either.
Yeah. Definitely. I'm glad you consider me a pro, though. I mean, I am a pro. Don't get it wrong. I'm not going to discredit myself. I'm just saying, as far as when you start reading people's backgrounds, as far as the people, the different people that they spoke to, like we're on episode 13 right now, and I pretty much looked at everyone that you've done thus far, and they're professionals, so it's always an honor and a privilege to be thrown in that category by not only your peers, but someone that you've known for, like you said, 30 years, man. Man, I was thinking like 15, 20 years. I was like, in my brain, I was like, he said the real number, 30 something, man. We getting up there, son. We getting up there.
I know. It's crazy because that's how I'm like, we're 43. I'm 43 now. I'm about to be 44. I know you're in that range right there too.
44.
So it's literally 30 years we've known each other, man. So it's crazy.
Before we go any further, did I see you at the reunion, our 20th year class reunion? Were you there?
No, I wasn't able to make it. I was working at the time, but I did get some invites. I know that Izzy had put it together. And
it was fire, bro. You missed out, bro.
I know. I saw it. I saw the pictures. I was like, wow, they had a great time.
We had 2 after parties, bro. Ask anybody. It was 2 after parties.
Like that thing probably went until 8 a.m. the next day.
Yes, it's very true. Very true.
I believe it. I know how they do out there.
Oh man, we don't stop until we stop. You good? All right. So where we at? So wasn't that? Let's get into this show.
Yeah, like what I like to do is I like to kind of start from the beginning with a lot of people.
Okay.
Kind of have people tell their story about where they grew up at. I think you got a good story about where you grew up at, and and how the evolution has come back full circle to do your thing now. I do want to post one little comment that just popped in. Someone that I was hoping would pop into, because I want to have this gentleman on the show, Bart Gonzalez.
Bart.
He's like, "What's up, guys? I love these interviews, man. I appreciate you, Bart, coming on, checking me out, man. And having our buddy Farris on tonight is an added, pleasure to me."
Yeah, Bart was the host. He was the host for the class reunion. Just to let you know, he was the first person you saw when you walked in the door at the end of the red carpet.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he's the man. Bart is the man. So definitely for sure.
Yeah, and like I said, future show, I definitely want to get that guy on, because we got to talk more about what it is that he's trying to bring back to the city as well.
Yeah. I hear you on that.
So yeah, if you could touch about the fact of like I said, where you grew up and kind of what has started the process of Farris, and I'll keep asking questions throughout.
Yeah, please. Yeah, cut me off at any moment, because I think sometimes once I start talking, man, I go into a zone. So, it's just the reality of life. But let's just start from the beginning. Born and raised in Lorain, Ohio. If you don't know about Lorain, look it up and ask somebody. Okay, we're a little bit, I think it's west of Cleveland, right on Lake Erie, about 20-something miles. Bitter cold in the winter, hot in the summer. Spring is unmeasurable. And fall is kind of perfect, one of those areas of life. There's no north side of town because it's water. It's all water. So that gives people like me and Tony a lot of years of our lives of gazing into the abyss of the ocean, even though Lake Erie is not an ocean, but I promise you it looks like an ocean. And looking at possibilities of where our lives can go and where it can take us and how we can evolve. I started playing tennis in the city of Lorain, Ohio at the age of 7. So it's been that long. My parents saw something playing tennis one day and was like, "Yo, let's put him in tennis, of all sports." And it blossomed from there. It started off as, I don't want to do this, but it only took probably about 6 months before I was like, wow, this is the most amazing thing that's ever happened in my life at that young of an age. I'll fast forward through my years. I won some tournaments, won some local. Majority of them were all local. Actually, all of them were local and regional. Won some tournaments. Made a name for myself as the undercard, the underdog, entering tournaments in Sandusky, Vermilion, Cleveland, as far as Toledo and Michigan. So when there's an unnamed person on a card, they like to just throw you in with people that they do know, so that they can just knock them out and just get this competition on the road. So I remember I had a tennis tournament one time that lasted 6 hours, just a little over 6 hours. I believe it was out in Sandusky. And the reason why it took 6 hours is because they put this no-name 13-year-old, 14-year-old who's playing in the 16 and under category. They put me in a category with who they suspected was going to win the championship. So they figured he was going to knock this no-name out, but it ended up being a championship round in round 1. People were amazed, okay? I amazed myself at that time, at about 13 years old. My career went on, so I was about 18, 19 years old, won a few more, local regionals. And but very quickly, I realized that tennis was my life. There was no way I'm going to not have this a part of my, let's just say what you said, my hustle. Mm-hmm. One way or another, this is going to be a career, a hustle, a side job, whatever it was going to be, it was going to be my life. So I kind of dedicated myself to that. Fell off some years after having kids and whatnot. And but that comes with territory. Yeah, I just want to go back to that. So when you fall off and you have kids, I meant physically. Mentally, I was always there. Physically, I fell off because I just lost track of everything. So it's not just you women who fall off after kids. Remember, us dads, we fall off too, and it's hard getting back on track. But for me, it was about a 13-year off track, 14 years. I will fast forward directly to 2011. 2011 is when my life got really on track. I ended up moving to Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Well, actually Coral Springs, right in the thick of it all, the magic. That's when my whole entity of tennis is time to begin to reign over my life. And let's show, this whole fairest thing, to yourself. I had to show myself that I still had it, that I was able to compete, that I was able to perform, that I was able to teach. And that's when my tennis career really, really, really started taking off, as far as outside of being a young adolescent, but the business side of it, the entrepreneurial side of it, and the drive side of this specific sport that is not as well known as most of the major sports in America as we know. So, and then, that's where I'm at about 2011.
No, that's cool. I mean, and the thing is like, I know that you had taken a break, in between playing when you were younger and then coming to age and like you said, going through fatherhood and then at that time, then having to push to put food on the table and take care of business and pay the bills. And, sometimes we don't look back at it as, we're not going to be a professional maybe in that sport.
Yeah.
Because, I had played a lot of sports that I thought I was going to be a professional in that just didn't work out. But there's no reason why. And it's crazy because just recently now have I started coaching in the past like 2.5 years and it's changed my world, dude. It's changed my world to be able to pass the knowledge on. It was like, I wanted to get into it too younger, just coaching, because I knew that, especially when I tried to do it with wrestling, it wasn't, there was no professional wrestling. The highest you could get was like to the Olympics. And that was the top of the line.
Pretty high.
Yeah. As far as wrestling went, but in no way, shape or form could it make the kind of money that tennis makes. Tennis makes some great money. I mean, and people don't understand probably the money that it makes, but it's probably right up there with golf and those other sports that those guys make some great money.
There's not as many people that you have to share your prize money with too in tennis.
That's true.
There's not as many people,
Sure.
It's all you out there on that court. So it makes a difference there.
Yeah. So then, it was crazy how you talked about how then eventually you made the move in 2011 to come to Florida. I know that, you had gotten into the hospitality industry as well while you were trying to do, Lock It Up Tennis. Like you were just Lock It Up Tennis was at this time, I would suggest it was probably just a brainchild, right? Like you were like, this is something I really want to do. I want to go there, or was it already in motion?
Yeah, when I moved to Coral Springs in 2011, it wasn't even a brainchild. It was more of a, what am I going to do with my life? I'm 35 years old now. I'm divorcing at 35. I got 4 kids. You don't expect it. So what I was going to do was not established, not even in my brain yet. It was just a vision of success and a vision of just endurance to weather the storms, that were there and that were on their way. So the hospitality industry took me by storm and took me in with open arms. And when I mention the hospitality industry, that's not to say while I was living up north, when I was living out west, while I was living in Atlanta years previously. I'm not saying that I wasn't already doing hospitality. It was only when I moved to Fort Lauderdale, to Coral Springs, that I understood that there's 2 different kinds of hospitalities. There's hospitality in the United States, and then there's hospitality in South Florida. That's a whole nother ball game. So it's it's not the same. I don't care who you are, where you're from.
Florida's a whole different world.
This is, mark my words.
Like California, like people consider California a whole different world.
California, New York, I give it to them. They're big cities. They have the hood, but this particular venue and this particular profession in that area of the country is by far the most pivotal move in the hospitality industry in my career. So with that being said, Brews Room, I worked at Brews Room. I believe there's about 5. No, there's 10. There was 10 at the time when I was there. So I slaved away at Brews Room, probably working 15 hours a day, a lot of days, for almost 5 years straight. That's where I found myself. That is where I found Lock It Up.
And well, you talked about Brews Room, but I don't think people understand what Brews Room was. Brews Room was actually the number 1 sports bar and grill in South Florida at the time. And I mean, it's a beautiful place. I mean, if you haven't had a chance to go there, go check them out still. That particular restaurant that you were at is still there, right? Like it's still
not only is
kicking.
it still there. I have to correct you. It still is the number one. There's no. We're not gonna. I can't discredit them. And I don't read every In the Biz magazine and every but I will tell you this: they are still number one. They can't be between them and I'll throw some names out there and Boat Campers, Flanagan's, those major chains like that. But Brews Room stands out, and one of the number one reasons why it stands out, that is the official home of the Ohio State alumni. So y'all remember that when you think of Brews Room, Ohio State.
IO, baby.
Yeah, that's why.
I didn't know that was a backers bar. I didn't know that was a backers bar, dude. That's awesome. Hell yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Bob Brzezinski, he was an alumni. Played for the Dolphins. Who owns it? So.
That's awesome, man.
Love Brews.
You talked about in 2011, though. I mean, and that was like you're saying, the start of both industries for you really kicking hard. I know that it kind of stumbled upon you as a just you giving some straight knowledge about fitness to a bar back one day, and he approached you about staying in shape and stuff like that, and you started to spit knowledge at him, and then what it evolved to within that year. Can you kind of talk about that?
So I will make this as short and sweet as possible. Now, I am not a fitness expert. Let's just start there. I'm not a fitness expert. I'm not a certified nutritionist or a certified physical, fitness, whatever. But I do know some things about working out and running and getting off your butt and making a move into that field. I might not be able to tell you how to become Mr. America, but I was able to basically just give you the encouragement that, hey, just start doing something. So basically a kid asked me, because he noticed I was running a lot. Now, whether or not he understood that I was running a lot because I didn't have a car or whether I just wanted to do it, or that doesn't matter. I did it. I was making sure, I had to be at work on time. I was the first one there and the last one to leave, And so, I gave him a few pointers. I said, stop by my house, 8 a.m. If you show up 8 a.m., we'll do a little workout, And that's what it turned into. A year later, when I say we, I don't want to start naming everybody that was involved because they already know, and it's just so many people, so many people. But a year later, not only am I involved with an awesome group of people doing these fitness exercises and workouts and Tuesday jogs. 2 days a week, we're doing volleyball. On this day, we're doing kickboxing. Next day, we're doing hill training. Okay. It grew to almost 100 plus, over 100 people that were just involved with this network. We talk about networking. We talk about what it takes to network and get out there and put your name out there and put your face out there. But I had the opportunity and I had the honor and privilege to work with a group of people who wanted to do that. And not only did they want to do that, we literally were side by side with each other every day for years. And a lot of people that are in the restaurant industry understand that the restaurant industry is a very big turnover rate. So the turnover meaning 2 weeks, 3 weeks, you got 2 new servers. 5 weeks later, there's another server. Oh, that was gone. Okay. I worked in an environment where we all was about our hustle. And we was all about our grind. And we realized we were in the top spot in South Florida. So we're not about to be trying to switch out of this job to go. Where are we going to go? To the competition? There was no competition. So once you got this gig, if you may say, you pretty much realized that you were in the position to skyrocket and to elevate whatever it is that you were going to be doing in life, whether you're going to be a lifelong server in the industry or if you were going to go on to the next. So we got together. The network grew. The Fit Club grew massively. We started working with other different multi-level marketing networking companies throughout the country. And Lock It Up Tennis was born. It was originally, we called it the Velocity Fit Club. So that was the original name of Lock It Up Tennis from 2011 to 2015. And like I said, it was about 100 people strong. And I just, when I think about how beautiful of a family I had down there and how well we all worked together and meshed together, it really serves now today as a model to what I'm going to be doing with Lock It Up Tennis for the rest of the duration of its existence. So it all started in Coral Springs, Florida.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. And you
Ohio,
know, it is crazy. I'm like, it is crazy because people don't understand that the turnover in the hospitality industry is foolish, and I'm sure that, you know, the same way as the couple places I was able to be here, because you know where I'm at now, and it was like to see you know, the couple places, those servers didn't leave very often, you know, because of the fact that they knew they weren't going to make better money somewhere else.
Yeah, that's it.
And it was like, and you guys became a family after, because of that. Like, I mean, and so to get into working out and working together and just, you know, looking for a better life for all of you guys together, that's important, man. I'll tell you what, because sometimes, you know, you go through it, and that's how I think somewhat the hospitality industry has evolved from what it was in the 80s and 90s and even the early 2000s, where it was a lot of drugs and sex and partying. You know what I'm saying? That was what held that industry together.
I don't think much is involved with that.
Well, I mean,
like I had to slow you down on that.
I think though that the drugs aren't as bad as it was back then. You know what I'm saying? Like the drugs back then were.
Like, I don't know where you've been working at, Tony, but where I
but you were down south. Down south is crazier. It's just like
I was having flashbacks while you were telling that story. I was like, man, and how it evolved, and I'm like, man, well, but yeah,
only because now it's such an HR issue, man. Everybody goes to HR about anything. Like if somebody's trashed at work, or if somebody's talking to you just a little bit sideways, they're like, "I'm going to HR. I'm gonna tell on you," and you're like, "Bro, like,
well, the true
get some skin." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like the industry, man. Like the industry I grew up in, where chefs would be cussing at you in back and throwing pans at you and throwing, like, for real, like they didn't executive chefs when I was younger they didn't play around, and it's like an industry that's the part I mean, because of the HR. The HR issue, like everybody's so quiet about what they do now.
All right.
We talked about, you know, I know you talked about the fitness side of things and what you guys were doing from 11 to 15. Can you kind of tap into John Vizera and the relationship you had with him? Because I know that he was kind of a mentor to you and kind of helped that fitness situation evolve.
Now, John Mizera, now contrary to what I said just previously, John Mizera is a fitness expert. He is one of the top fitness experts in and around everywhere. I hate to try to pinpoint where he's most known at, but John Mizera is currently in Las Vegas. He is a fitness trainer to the stars. He's been in this industry for over 30 years. He has over 20 specialty certifications, all the way from prevention, post-pregnancy, all kinds of this and that. I can go down a list forever. And he is the one who started this idea, once again, this idea that I can accomplish things by incorporating other things, by networking with people. So John started training myself, most recently, actually physical training, but he was involved with a network marketing company with a supplement product that we were working with back in 2011 through 15 as well, where we became a very highly promotable, I'm going to use this word, promotable clientele base and demographics down in Florida with this product. He instructed us on how to network. He gave us all the fitness tips that you would have to pay thousands of dollars a month for, you know, to find out the small things, the big things about how to stay in shape, how to stay fit, how to maintain, how to recover. And I wouldn't be here, honestly, I wouldn't be here doing what I'm doing right now without John Vizera. He is by far the biggest influential person in my company, and he endorses it as well. So that says a lot. So I'm gonna have to gas him up a little bit more. John Vizera is the most awesomest. Look him up. Actually, and if you go to johnvizerafitness.com, you'll be able to actually see what I mean. You can read about him yourself. You will be blown away. I always mention this part about him so that people can get a better view. John Vizera was in, I believe, the opening seasons of Sons of Anarchy. He was in War of the Worlds with Tom Cruise. He did a lot of high-level athletes and actors. He's personally trained them. He's created a no-fail system that, like, literally, if you're anyone who's anyone, which is everyone, this is the man to go to. And he's a personal friend, personal mentor of mine, who I've followed. I've modeled myself after. I've trained and studied with him for the past 10, 11 years. And like I said, he is one of my biggest endorsements for LockItUpTennis.com. Look him up, JohnMizeraFitness.com. Tell him I sent you.
No, that's awesome, dude. And you know what? I as I was reading your bio, and I'm reading through about the John Vizera piece, you know, and I've actually looked up John Vizera, and like you were saying, I mean, such a big influential guy himself, and that's cool that he's taken part into your company and really endorses your company and supports it. You know, I really wanted to go out and get his book, that Success Manifesto, just to, you know, and I think, you know, I don't know if you have any pull with him to where if I send it to you, if you could have him sign it for me, and I'll stick it in back here. You know what I mean? I'm trying to start getting a bunch of pieces from some of the guys I have on. I'll probably send you some stuff so that you can sign it as well, and we can pop it up and back.
Yeah, I had a Superman Iron Man moment there when you said that if I give him to you, you can get him to sign it. I was like, yeah, I can. I think Iron Man can make it to your birthday party. I'll pull some strings. No, man, it was for Superman. I think it was Superman 3. That's what I started thinking about. I was like, Ricky, Superman's coming to my birthday. No, I got you. But no, I'm pretty sure that John will have no problem if you buy his book. Now we need the hard copy. He's not going to sign this digital copy, okay?
That's true. That's true.
All right. Well, we can make that happen.
Yeah, that's cool. I appreciate it, man. Now in 15, you then started to make a turn from what you were doing in Coral Springs, and you made then a move to Louisville, Kentucky.
Louisville, Kentucky. Yes, sir.
At that time, I know that luckily you were going to another hot spot for a hospitality industry because of what Louisville offers in a different way. You know, it's a little bit north of Florida, but it's also somewhat considered the South. It's kind of funny how
where
you place that is still considered the South, and it's you know there's a big industry out there for hospitality, for bourbons and stuff like that. Yeah. If you can talk about, I guess, what then ended Florida's situation and then took you to Louisville, Kentucky.
Well, leaving Florida and coming up here was a super shift in, let's just say when it comes to fitness and with tennis, the shift came quickly, and it was just something that had to be done. It was more of a personal move than business. I'll tell you that much. So what that means is it's none of your business why I left Florida, but I left. No, but I left on some personal issues that I had to deal with. So coming back here, I had to take those personal things and make sure that I balanced them well with the business thing. And coming back up here shifted the hospitality to a more fine dining, 5-star, you know, and some close to, even though I don't believe there's any Michelin stars in Louisville. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I've been in the industry. Trust me, I haven't seen any. But the level here is a whole nother thing. Tennis, it's not a tennis community. It's not a big fitness guru, South Florida type, every day's a beach day type of groove and vibe that we live down there. So once again, this turns into taking what you've learned, what you know, mentally, physically, spiritually, psychologically, everything that you know, and you shifting your idea and making yourself evolve when you hit that point of that plateau of, I don't know what I'm about to do next. That's what moving back to Louisville came for me. I will tell you right now, tennis and the fitness fell off once again for like 2.5 years when I got back here. So 15, 16, by 2017, going into 18, I was like, okay, Farris, you better get back on your hustle because I understand that, not a lot of people want to play tennis. I was still working on certifications and trying to get my PTR certifications appropriately, getting registered with USTA and all that stuff. What am I going to do? How am I going to market? How am I going to make a living? How am I going to put the food back on the table with this sport and with this idea and with my livelihood only sitting in the back part of my brain as a when are you going to get to work type of settlement. And so coming back here, once again, it changed my life. The restaurant industry gave me that boost of energy. Thankful to people like the Brown Hotel, the Aloft Hotel, Luvino's, Cole's Artisan Pizza. Those are all entities, Martin's Barbecue Joint, that I had the honor and privilege of working with once again. And a lot of those at the same time, not just bartending, but now I'm more so doing schematics. I'm opening bars, bar rescue, fixing up establishments, private chef work, all that stuff. And then one day the clicker went off. It was like, okay, time to go tennis, full steam ahead. Time to get that South Florida vibe back into full swing. And let's get this Lock It Up tennis back on the road again. And by 2018, 2019, I was ready to go. Mentally, I was ready to go. Physically, I wasn't. The only thing that made it physical was COVID-19. That's what put it into the full circle of where we are today. It's COVID-19.
No, I get it, man. I mean, and it's crazy. It's cool that you were like trying to somewhat work it out in Kentucky, and I mean, you knew that that wasn't, of course, the place to try to push tennis. But you kept your ties, I guess, in Florida to where you were able to then, push it eventually back to Florida. I guess at this point, can you talk about, post? I can't even say post the first COVID phase one, we'll say, from March and April of last year, and then what it's put into now, and then talk about lockituptennis.com and the games and where you guys have evolved to now at this point.
Okay, so this is where we are at right now. This is part of the interview I've been waiting to get to. This is where we are with lockituptennis.com. It was just this past April. I'm sitting at home at my computer, and I'm on Facebook, and I see this thing on TV. You can see it back here. It's called the slinger bag. I'm not gonna pull it down. Actually, let me pull it down just a little bit. So I see this on Facebook, right? I see this. Let me turn it. There we go. Okay, there we go. I hope that doesn't fall during the interview. That one sucked, right? I saw that. It was going down. Okay, so I see the slinger bag. I knew it was going to fall. And I knew it was time. It was time to reinvent what I feel tennis can be in these days. I ordered the slinger bag. It came in the mail a few weeks later. It hadn't even been released to the world yet. It was just this new product. I opened the box. I turned it on. The ball started shooting. Well, I had some balls. I put them in there. It started shooting out, and the light bulb went off. I think a week later, started creating lockituptennis.com and its entire entity, putting everything that I learned from 2011 all together into one circle. Physical fitness, tennis lessons, learning tennis, how to play tennis. My 3-year-olds, my 8-year-olds, I have 10-year-olds, I have older, all the way up. And it all just came together very simple, very simple. Let's introduce a new way to get people to love this sport that they either don't know about or they've played before because they had a racket that they found at their aunt's or their grandma's basement or some back closet. Hey, I'll go play and shoot around with you or hit some balls around with you, whatnot. So I decided to put it all together. The slinger bag that fell in the back right there, okay, is gone. That has changed a lot. I have created a game with lockituptennis.com that doesn't require a tennis racket, but it uses the biggest name in the technological advancement of tennis right now, which is that slinger bag back there. I almost want to pick it up, but I'm not going to. So Lock It Up Tennis. I don't want to give too much away right now on this interview because I'll just have to be going on and on and on about it. But when you go, you can visit lockituptennis.com to look at the site. It'll give some demonstrations of what the game looks like, how it's played from the winter time or the summertime, springtime. We don't want to do it in the rain though. But there's a lot of things going on with this. This is a 90% mental sport and 10% physical. That's what we call it. That's what I call it. And it is something that I believe is going to change the face of sports, because this is not just for tennis players. It is specifically for, and get this, it is specifically geared towards anyone who feels that they have any kind of natural athleticism, or you just have the heart to go up against someone who looks the part, who feels the part, who looks like they're super smart, and they can just beast out this physical game. The person who doesn't have that confidence can win the championship of this game. It is an evolving sport. It involves a lot of fun thinking. It involves a lot of footwork, hand-eye coordination, tactics, skills, and sometimes a lot of pure luck, because we're dealing with tennis balls. You know, they're not heavy. They're very light. The wind can take them or whatnot. But I believe that this is going to change the world right here. And with Lock It Up Tennis and the games, we believe here that this is the world's most innovative introduction to the sport of tennis. We're standing by that. I'm going to actually put that as my motto. I'm going to probably put that on like the back of a t-shirt or probably down the arm. The world's most innovative introduction to tennis. You will be able to see a full demonstration on my Facebook page. Please visit that part of my page right there. Actually, I'll post it up all through there as soon as I'm done right here. And you'll see for yourself the simplicity of this game and how far it's taken me thus far. As of now, we've received a lot of, I don't want to say recognition. Well, we have received a lot of recognition, but we have gone very far with the sport globally, if I may say, and internationally with its recognition. We plan on traveling a lot more this summer, getting the game throughout the nation, starting with South Florida tour coming up here May 30th through April 4th. We'll be starting in Miami, coming up to Fort Lauderdale, then to West Palm, and then ending the games in Zephyr Hills, Florida at the SVB Tennis and Wellness Center. That's the Sarah Vonderberg Tennis and Wellness Center in Zephyr Hills, Florida on May 4th, day before Cinco de Mayo. So outside of that, that's kind of where we're at. LockItUpTennis.com. Tony, back to you.
That's cool, man. I mean, and you know, I was know that you've been in touch with those people at Sarah Vandenberg, you know, the Wellness and Tennis Center. That's a beautiful venue. I saw, you know, all the videos that you took out there when you guys were out there, and just, you know, everything that's been posted, because, you know, I just wanted to see what it was that you guys were doing out there. And it was funny because you guys have all the pros that are out there. Plus, I saw that you guys had a special guest come through. Nick Bollettieri had come through to help support you guys and support the cause and everything that's going on out there. Can you kind of talk about Nick Bollettieri and what he was able to do with you guys out there during that event that you guys ran?
Yes, I'll tell you what I know about Nick Bollettieri, so that so people in here don't think that I know him personally, even though I would like to think that I do know him personally. But Nick Bollettieri, he is tennis. He is tennis. IMG Academy. He has trained and coached pretty much every number one tennis player. I don't want to say everyone, but a lot of top level tennis players, number ones in the world. He's made the number ones. And if you don't know who he is, just look up IMG Academy and you'll understand how far his influence has reached throughout his here to be soon 90 years of gifting that he's given the world of tennis. He is the only, I think he's the only tennis entity that is in both the International Tennis Hall of Fame and the Black Tennis Hall of Fame. He's in both of those halls of fame, and I do honor him. I honor him for what he's done and what he's attributed to the sport, which is pretty much everything. He's given us a model that really sets above a lot of the reading that we could eliminate doing. If you ever had the opportunity to actually sit down next to him and have a conversation with him. He spoke at the SVB Open, which was the first SVB Open. Mind you, they've only been open since October. So this was the first full-fledged UTR tournament, SVB Open, that they had. And he did come back to support powered by Nick Bellatieri and by Celsius. So I could go on and on once again about that guy, about that gentleman, about that sir. And the fact that he's about to be 90 really kind of throws my brain of, what am I going to accomplish? What am I going to do? What is going to be my contribution to the sport? And to hear from a person like him that says one thing you want to do is you want to read people. He says that God gave him a gift, and that gift was reading people. It wasn't teaching people how to play tennis. It wasn't teaching someone how to that has a two-handed backhand to tell him you need to do a one-handed backhand. It's easier that way. Just know people, know what they're thinking, and be there mentally. When everyone else's their brains are all our brains are always running in circles. So if we're all running in circles, then just go in the same direction. You don't always have to be the one that knows it all. You just have to be the one that be there to see, when something needs to be corrected. So I look up to him as a coach, as a mentor now, after meeting him and being able to be in his awesome presence. So that's a whole nother story, Nick Bellatieri.
Yeah, no, that's cool. You and I talked before the show, and I was telling you about I know Nick too because of the fact that we talked about I live in Bradenton, Florida, where IMG Academy is at.
Yeah.
And it really was based around the tennis program when it all originated. What it has evolved to now is totally different. It is a little sports mecca where a lot of kids come to play out a junior or senior year to get a high scholarship role onto the colleges in all sports now, basketball, football, tennis included. We talked about how and where it started. Happened to be a resort that I worked at in 2005, from 2005 to 2009, called the Colony Beach and Tennis Resort. And that's where Nick really, really pushed his teachings of the sport of tennis. And I was lucky enough to meet Nick during that little reign of time, because of the fact that he was best friends with the owner of the resort. And that's how he was able to, that's how he was able to go there and teach there. Super cool guy, very personable. Like you said, when you just sit down and talk with him one time, you feel like he's your friend all of a sudden. Like you're like in good company with him. Like, I know Nick now. Like, and he's just like that. He's a very personable gentleman, nice guy, does know a lot about the sport of tennis, but is a good reader of people. Yeah. You and I talked about the fact of the documentary that he made just a few years ago for HBO called, Love Means Zero.
Yeah.
And that's a tennis, a
lot of people don't know that. Love Means Zero.
And that's a little tennis knowledge for him. Yeah. And he put out there, and it was kind of cool that was the name of his documentary. But that documentary was shot actually at the Colony Beach and Tennis Resort a couple of years after it closed down. And if you look behind them, all the courts are run down and old and beat up. But that was where it all started from, man. And that's a cool Nick Bellatieri story, because I said you met him. I was going to wait to tell you that during the show, but I kind of spilled the beans a little bit before the show.
It's all good. I got a picture with him though.
No, that's cool. I saw all you guys all standing around him like he was the Godfather and shit.
It was a photo op, man. Everyone's alive, No, but I will say this: in the beginning, when I did get to ask him a couple questions, I wish I had asked different questions and worded them differently, but it happens what happens. But man, yeah, if you only just to talk to this guy, it's an amazing thing. I don't want to linger on that anymore.
That's cool. That's cool. The now the lockituptennis.com and the games that you guys held just recently on February 13th back at the Sarah Vandenberg Wellness and Tennis Center on February 13th. Some of those proceeds went to an organization called Lorraine Proud.
Yes.
And it's a portion of those proceeds went there to support local businesses and local business owners to kind of help push them through what it is that they've had to go through within this past year as well, because it's been tough on everyone, and for those guys that are really trying to start up and run businesses in a city like Lorraine that is trying to get better. And I tell you what, because of the fact that this is why I was really wanting to have you on as well, was to talk about Lorraine Proud, your affiliation with it, and then kind of go into some detail of why you guys, took a portion of the proceeds and donated it to them.
All right. Well, first and foremost, I like to say this. I have not cut the check yet because Bartholomew, who you're gonna have on there, he's the one who is. I'm not gonna say he's necessarily in charge, but he is in charge of what Lorraine Proud stands for. So yes, a portion of the proceeds are being sent as we speak to the hashtag Lorraine Proud organization. It is geared specifically around exactly what you said, just giving that extra or going that small extra mile to pay something forward, whether or not you have everything you have in life to pay something forward. And this is plain talk. This has nothing to do with tax write-offs. It has nothing to do with I gave some money to so-and-so. Listen, I'm from Lorain, Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
I love my city. I'm proud of my city. I cry when I see Lake Erie and I'm not around it. So we're talking about home. We're talking about where your heart is at. And specifically my home, when we know what happened there back in the mid-90s when everything changed for our entire next two generations. People don't realize when industries fail, when major industries fail in a booming steel-oriented, automotive industry type of city, which is a hub for the rest of the world. When cities like that lose that infrastructure, it immediately is felt within the walls of the families of those dads that came home or those moms who came home that last day of their job, knowing they're not going back. Now, it's one thing for that to happen here and there, but when that happens to roughly 1,600 individual persons overnight in one day, you take those 1,600 people, you times that by how many each person has in their immediate family. Now, we're talking close to 10,000 plus people overnight. Their dreams, ideas, visions of what the future was going to be for not only themselves, not only for their families, but for their city that they live in, that they were born and raised in. Speaking of born and raised, I mean, the hospital that I was born in just got finished being demolished, just a week or so ago. So I watched that video with my mom. My mom was born in that hospital in Lorraine. We were both born right there. So when you're looking at giving back to your community, those are the things that you have to think about when you put on your flyer or on your marketing materials that, a portion of the proceeds. I wish I could have said all the proceeds. That's my goal, is not to be able to give a portion of proceeds back to my city or to my organization or to my grandfather who's still living there, my aunts and uncles and cousins and friends who are still living in Lorraine. You want to give back to the city. It will come around. You get 10,000 people to do that in one night. That's $10,000. We always look at the numbers from a marketing level. Everyone donate $1. There's 10,000 people that do it. And then some say, how hard is that? Maybe it is hard. Maybe it isn't. But the hashtag Lorraine Proud specifically will be going to benefit specific business owners. I don't know who's going to get it. I don't care who gets it. I know that it's going to the organization. That organization is going to allocate, whether it's $10 I send, whether it's $50 I send, or whether it's $100 I send. I do know the last time somebody handed me $20, that went very well in my gas tank. I promise you, my car was happy. Whatever it went. I don't care. So, but those business owners do need to see that, especially the ones that are in the service industry. I'm going to always mention them because bartenders and servers, store clerks, or whatever it is going on in Lorain that this is going to be allocated to. I encourage everyone, to look up the hashtag Lorain Proud, and just drop a Venmo dollar. Drop a Venmo dollar. Don't worry about where it's going to go to. You'll never know. But what you will know is that you were a part of the solution. And the biggest solution that we're trying to solve these days, especially for Lorain, is infrastructure, business thriving, getting, and then the only way that's going to the only way that I believe that's going to happen is by encouraging. Not the only way. One of the main ways it can help is by encouraging the business owners that are already there to stay the course. Because we see in a lot of places what happens is infrastructure gets built back up, but then it doesn't last because it didn't take off. My hope and dream is to one day bring Lock It Up Tennis home, and build a $5, $6, $7, $8 million facility right there in Lorain, Ohio for LockItUpTennis.com. That's my goal. So I'm going to start by pushing a little bit of what I'm making right now back into the community so that when my time comes there to build and to get us back where the glory of where we once were is back into the minds of the generation that's there now, because that's what we're talking about. The newer generation, getting them to see what it is that they're missing, and what they missed out on. So hashtag Lorain Proud, get it. I'm in it. I'm for it. I am hashtag Lorain Proud.
No, that's awesome.
Yes,
that's
sir.
awesome. And I'll tell you what, I am not in Lorain right now, but I always bring up Lorain on my shows, and I know you know it. Those guys that are from Lorain know it because of the fact that I love where I'm from. I wish I knew more. It was funny because yesterday I talked to my oldest son, who's out there right now and who just got his own LLC, and he's like, listen, I saw Lorain Proud, we had posted something good about you and that you were, the up and coming in the podcast industry. And that's super huge. You need to take that bit of what you have and bring it back to Lorain. And I'm definitely open for that. I definitely want to do that. I would love to come to Lorain and do an event. I am not trying to make money off of it. I don't care. All the proceeds can go to it. I'll bring some sneakers out and have people do raffles. Like I'll donate my sneakers because I've got a ton of sneakers here that are just dead stock that I would bring out to Lorain and let people do raffles to raise money so that all those proceeds go to Lorain Proud and start to help that out. I do have a brainchild that I don't want to share too much of. What I plan to do, but I am looking to try to stay in contact with entrepreneurs and business owners and investors and trying to eventually work out a system to where I can help invest back into the city of Lorain. There is a big area of Lorain where the steel mill closed. Not functioning warehouses right now that we can turn back into something. And I'm working on something that it may take me years to accomplish it, but it is in my brainchild right now. And I see it coming to fruition within some years, but it's going to take me some time and take me some support with both this and like I said, what I'm looking to do in the future. So I appreciate that you guys are, pushing that. I like hashtag Lorain Proud. I'm definitely in for whatever you guys need me for as far as promotions or anything like that. And like I said, I'll be there. I'll try to make my way to come up there and help you guys in any way I can, man. So let me know.
Yeah, get over to Bart. He's the man.
I will.
I can't say enough good things about him either. So, and you said you were trying to get him on the show. Yeah, that's definitely someone who can round about the whole everything.
And I've known Bart for years, man. Bart and I used to play Little League baseball together back in the AmVets days, man.
Yeah.
I've known Bart for years, dude.
Play for AmVets, bro?
Yeah, like AmVets Pro 57, boy. Straight up.
Yeah, I only went to AmVets. I never played for them. I only went there.
I'm gonna post some comments. People popping in. Kathy Herrera popped in. She was like, "Oh my God, I love this." She was being funny. She was being funny, clowning my voice. I think talking about Tony Gonzalez, his natural radio voice. You know, I was like,
Hey, I gotta ask you a question though, because man, were we in choir together? Were you in choir one year?
No, dude. And the funny thing is that when I was younger, like back in the St. John's days, I used to think I was Mr. Singer with this big old deep voice already as a little kid. And people were like, "Bro, your voice is like going through the change right now. I don't know if you want to sing." So I then backed away from it and stayed away from it, and it was funny.
Yeah.
Bart posted up though. He was like, most definitely. He's like, I can help, man.
Yeah.
So it's like I said, I want to figure out a way to kind of help that city because I love that city. I mean, I love the people there. I want to bring some jobs there, and I think that by bringing jobs there, it'll help, recirculate the money back through the through the area and let those companies grow and because it's not a bad area. I think they're just in a bad situation right now economically.
Yeah. One of the worst too, and one of the worst. I just think we have to build those partnerships. So bring the business together with a little bit of Lock It Up Tennis, a little bit of Lorraine, hashtag Lorraine Proud. And like I said, there's a lot of wonderful people there that I've met over the last year. I've spent some time up in Lorraine with Bart on 2 occasions over the last year. Spent almost a couple weeks up there. And with a lot of business owners up there all over the city, in and out. So it is definitely a project that needs to be started, and it needs to find its way to the top of a lot of people's to-do lists. And once again, this is specifically for the younger generation that's in Lorraine right now. I'm not talking about coming together and having another class reunion. I'm talking about coming together and putting together a team of entities that will draw the attention. Something. And this is where Lock It Up Tennis and the games comes in. And that's what I've said to myself. Bring them something that's going to draw their attention, not just in, but away from what is already there. At the same time, draw it into something that is going to see them to look out onto Lake Erie the way that we looked out onto Lake Erie when we were children. And I know for a fact that everyone under my voice that knows what I'm talking about, we saw things when we looked out across that water. We saw dreams that I know this generation, they don't see what we saw. And to make a long story short with that, one of the things we saw was those cargo ships floating back and forth across the lake. Those massive, we saw Navy vessels.
Big old freighters, man. Those big old freighters going through the riverbank there.
I mean, not many people lived in a city where you could go downtown and then there's a huge Navy vessel sitting at the foot of your bridge, So there's a future there, but we have to find that way to adapt what has been missing, which is a true positive infrastructure that is going to gear the youth of Lorraine to a brighter future.
Nah, it's coming, man. They just got to give me some time. They got to give me some time. Talk to some people. Like I said, and that's the thing. You guys got some people that you're tied to, and I think if we find a way to put all this together, man, it'll work itself out, man.
We shall. You're step one right here.
Yep, and that's the truth.
I gotta be 13 though, man. That's supposed to be like an unlucky number or something.
I knew you were gonna say that. Sometime throughout this damn show. I was like, he's gonna be like, why do I gotta be 13, dude? It's like 13's unlucky. Nah, 13 is just you know what I'm saying?
my rack back there.
I saw it, and you were just making the comment like it's probably gonna fall off, and it's like,
I know, right? I'm glad there was no wine in there because my slinger bag just fell and it would have hit the wine. Oh man, that would suck.
It have smashed everything.
Yeah,
I gotta go off the show. I guess now at this point, dude, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a chance to kind of shout yourself out, shout out lockituptennis.com, tell people how they can get a hold of you. And then, but this isn't the end of it. After this, I'm going to do my usual that I try to do with guests. It's called Pick Your Poison. But I'm at this point right now, like I said, I'm going to give you a chance to shout yourself out and shout out the businesses.
Definitely will. So thanks again, Tony, for this opportunity to just present myself, present what we're doing here. You can find me at lockituptennis.com. Take the website for what it is. It's just a viewing site. I want you to go in there and view because everything's going to be released on a big major marketing blow up here very soon. I say within the next 30 days. Okay. So visit lockituptennis.com just to view some of the ideas that I've had in my brain over the last few years, what I've been doing. And then go to my Facebook page, Damian Farris Montgomery, or you can go to Farris Montgomery, whichever one. You'll find me on there. And just look at some of the entities where I've been, what I've been doing. If you want to text me personally, 502-341-4346. Text whatever you want. Text games. I want to know about games. Hey, Farris, what's up? And within the next 30 days, we're going to be full stream with all of our YouTube channel. We're going to have my Instagram up and running. Like I said, everything's going to go at one time. I'm not going to be throwing one of these entities out one at a time. You can email me at farris@lockituptennis.com. Email me any question, anything you need to know about what we're doing. And if you're in the South Florida area, April 30th through May 4th, you can catch me one day in each city: Miami, Fort Lauderdale, West Palm Beach, and Zephyr Hills, Florida. That's where we're at.
All right, big guy. I appreciate you, man. Sorry, I'm on here.
Yeah, was that you? That picture.
That's the business. That's the original business picture right there.
That was
when I first posted about the business back. Shit, like that was probably like 3 or 4 years ago, man, if not longer. That was when this was a brainchild. Like when I was like, oh, what do I call myself if I ever do a podcast? Am I just Tony Gonzalez? I'm like, I call myself the business.
That make a nice LinkedIn photo right there, profile picture. Thanks again, Tony. I appreciate you, man.
Oh man, I'm super happy that you were able to come on, man. Like I said, this is the point of the show where I'm gonna play a game with you called Pick Your Poison. I just got like 3 questions for you. It's kind of funny. I give you a either or kind of situation and let you pick, and then if you want to go into a little explaining onto why, you can do so. Okay.
Yeah.
My first question is going to be hospitality or fitness?
Hospitality. So I got to talk about it, right?
Yeah. Explain why you pick hospitality.
Get out of the kitchen. It's not for everyone. If you can't even heat up a plate of spaghetti for your mother or your father or your friend and make it right for them and get it right the first time, then you're not going to be able to handle what a perfect stranger is going to do when you bring that plate to the table and it's not right. You gotta have the thickest skin on earth to be the person that smiles all the time. And it's true. It's a fake smile. I'm not going to lie. Unless you work somewhere like Brew's Room where you can smile all day long.
That's true. I get
That's all I'm saying about that, man.
Yeah, no. My next choice, I mean, we always have our love for Ohio, but I'm gonna give you the choice between Florida or Kentucky.
Oh man.
That's what I like to hear. I like to stump people.
Man. Florida. But you gotta realize Florida and South Florida are 2 different things, so don't get it confused. When you say Florida, I say everything from West Palm down to Cuba. West Palm, Cuba. That's what I call Florida. Okay. Just a wonderful place. A lot of people think that it's a vacation spot. It really is for people who go there on vacation. but to live down there is something you have to get used to. You have to get used to that all year round, it being beautiful. Whether being able to walk out and get your mail out of your mailbox barefoot on January 15th in the middle of winter. There's a lot of hidden secrets that South Florida has to offer. Your personal zen, that inner peace. Like I said, I speak on that, solely because I found myself in Florida. I don't know. I mean, looking out every time I went down to the ocean, I promise you, I saw Lake Erie. And being on the ocean, it's almost like the same, minus the salt water. Get an opportunity to go down there, definitely go do it. Visit Brew's Room in Coral Springs. Tell them Farris sent you. I promise they'll know who you're talking about. That's for sure. I promise you. And if they don't know, then they're lying to you. Then
they must be somebody new.
Yeah, it'll be somebody new. We're keeping their poker face. We knew how to keep our poker face down there.
That's cool.
And don't drink too much.
I'm like, my last question for you is, would you rather work for someone or be an entrepreneur?
Rather work for someone or be an entrepreneur.
An entrepreneur, I mean, it's a lot to deal with. I mean, working for somebody, sometimes you don't got to deal with all the headaches of.
I know, but you're giving me questions that got a lot of deep thought, and I got to give a real quick answer. Man, I mean, I'll tell you what. On this one, I'm going to give the obvious: entrepreneur. Okay, and I don't want to say it because of what everyone else would think, which is, well, if you're an entrepreneur, then you don't have to work for anyone. Mm-hmm. Well, I've done both, but these days the entrepreneur seems to work a little bit better for me because I get to make my own hours. I get to decide whether or not I'm going to be broke next month or if I'm going to have the money to pay my bills next month. Those are my decisions. I'm not putting those in the hands of anyone else. I'm not putting that in the care of anyone else for me and my family. As an employee working for others, you always tend to find that to be that plan A and plan B. And we've heard this plenty of times when it comes to business. Plan A is always the best option. Plan B is the one that you really want to stay away from because you're just going to be distracted the whole time with your ultimate goal and keeping your eye on that prize. Until you do that and you realize you only have $10 in your wallet and you're either going to buy bread or put gas in the car to go get the bread, that's when you're able to make the decision of where you're going to shift that entrepreneurial spirit or that, am I going to go work for someone else? I look at this screen while we're talking right now about entrepreneurialism. I just put the ism on the end. I hope I put that right. I look at the screen.
I think that is a word. I think it is a word. Entrepreneurialism.
I struggle with that in my soul, but I think it came out all right.
Long word, but it's still a word.
Entrepreneurialism. And I look at the logo that you chose, the lockituptennis.com logo that you chose to put up as my business. Like, I only use that for one thing, bro. I put that on my son's AAU basketball jacket that he had when he grew out of it, and that's what I use now. So that's the only reason why I did that logo. But so it's unique that you chose that one. That was an entrepreneurial mind at the time when I did that logo, and not knowing that my good friend Tony was going to use it for a marketing piece, months, years later down the road. That's the entrepreneurial. Oh my gosh, that's the mindset you want to have when it comes to shifting and making the decision of whether or not you're going to work for someone or you're going to work for yourself. What you have to do is make sure that as you're working day by day, whether progress seems to be being made visually in front of you each day, keep a stack of all of everything that you have to do and always look at it every day and make a strive to do something with that. Always have it. If you're a tennis player, have tennis balls readily at your house, to do whatever, you're going to do.
Yeah.
Just same thing with anything. If you're going to be a hairdresser, don't not have any blue magic grease in your cabinet.
That's true. If you're gonna be a podcaster, make sure you got a fucking mic.
Yeah,
If you want to be a podcaster, make sure you got good mics.
Yeah. Make sure you have a mic. How about that? Start there, So yeah, entrepreneur all day. Go for your dreams. Go for your dreams. Go for your dreams.
That's awesome, dude. I appreciate you, man, coming on. Great show. Appreciate that you were able to, like I said, take an hour and 10 plus minutes to come with us. Tell people about what it is that made you become what you become. LockItUpTennis.com. Everybody needs to check it out. Like I said, great show. Appreciate you, Farris. What I'm gonna do at this point is I'll put you backstage, man. I'm gonna do my little outro to the show, and then we'll chop it up right after the show's over. Okay, man?
Definitely appreciate you. Thank you all for watching. Talk to you soon.
All right, thank you, man.
All right, thanks, man.
Yeah, that was Farris Montgomery from LockItUpTennis.com. Like I said to him, totally appreciate that he was able to come on and just chop it up with us and tell us about, his adventure to what it is that he's been able to achieve and what he's been able to come to at this point. And, it's a different route for each person. Not every route is the same. He definitely took a different route in the city of like South Lorraine. Not too many people were playing the game of tennis. And it was awesome to see that he was able to take that and what he's been able to evolve to now to this day. It's huge, man. I mean, because like I said, not everybody goes the same route, and he's showing you just a different route, and that's all I'm trying to do here on the show is take you up different people's alleys and where they've come from and how they've been able to achieve. He talked, like I said, about LockItUpTennis.com. He also talked about hashtag Lorraine Proud, which we're gonna continue to discuss about because of the fact that I think that this needs to have a push. And Bart Gonzalez, I know you're out there listening, and hit me up. Let's see what we can do. Let's put all our brains together because I think that there's some good stuff that we can make accomplish in the city of Lorraine. But totally appreciate you guys. If you ever get a chance, hit me up. I'm on The Business Let's Be Real Instagram, on YouTube as The Business Let's Be Real, and you guys can always find me on Facebook as Tony Gonzalez. So with that being said, I'm going to give my quote of the night, and that'll be it for me. My quote of the night is, your vibe attracts your tribe. That's the truth, because of the fact that how we're delivering, what it is that we're bringing out into the world, it's going to bring back the people that we want to be back with us. And, and I think that Farris was able to speak knowledge about that tonight, and how a bunch of them in the hospitality industry got into fitness and how they stuck together. And I think that that's cool, and I, like I said, I always appreciate the support from everyone that I hear from all the time, and Farris included, and all you guys. Appreciate you all so much. So with that being said, The Business Let's Be Real, episode 13 over, out.